Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You're welcome. Now, before we begin, unfortunately, we are going to start with a bit of a sad note because I do want to pay respects to Big Van Vader, who unfortunately passed this week. It was a bit of a shock. Died of pneumonia. It wasn't pleasant at all. And do you know what? He was so much more influential than many people give him credit for. If you look at his run in the WWF, people often point out that whole line where he said, "I'm just a big fat piece of shit." He was much more than that, in every sense of the word. WCW, New Japan, if you go and watch his matches there, you will see that he definitely earned his name, the Mastodon. So yeah, R.I.P. Bit sad that, but anyway, let's crack on with the show and hit that intro. Okay, so let's start by talking about the WWE's commentary team. You've got the likes of Michael, "I'll sell mine now" for a slip of the old Slim Jim Cole. You've got Booker T, aka "What the shuck are you on about?" And then you've got Byron Saxton, who's like the audio equivalent of listening to the colour slate grey. He's boring as f***, is what I'm trying to say. And then, somehow, all of these guys are better than Jonathan Coachman, who needs some f***ing coaching himself. This week, after what he's been saying, he makes tons of mistakes, but he had a proper brainal prolapse when he was watching the Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax match. He had this to say: "I think this may be an advantage for Ronda Rousey, to be honest with you. Hear me out. The pace has slowed so much that it's allowed Ronda Rousey to get a little bit of a rest and gather her senses." Now, at this point, Ronda was in a bear hug, a legitimately meant to be painful move in wrestling. Not a rest. Is she having a rest? Are you having a fucking giraffe, mate?
Are you having a giraffe?
Yeah, blow my load straight away on the first one. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be knackered for the end of this. But seriously though, what is going on in your bean, mate? A wrestling hold like a bear hug is meant to be devastating. Not having a kip. It's not like she's trying to help her with her back cramp. It's not like every time that Daniel Bryan applies a leg lock or anything down there that he's trying to massage them, soothe their leg muscles, is he? Sort your life out, mate. A rest. I wish you'd f***ing take one. Yet you know what? Even though Cole was blowing hot air out of his mouth into his f***ing arsehole, Ronda Rousey was and went into Raw as one of the best things going in wrestling right now. Seriously, it's super impressive. She put on not only a great match for somebody who is still relatively green, but did so against Nia Jax, a champion who is still relatively green. And this is all down to the fact that Ronda made her match against Nia Jax feel believable, like she was overcoming a giant obstacle. And she did this by using a lot of physical tones and facial expressions that you really can't teach. When she squared up against Nia Jax, you actually thought that she was scared, but she was prepared. That's something, that sort of selling is worth a ton more than bouncing about on the ring like your goddamn Dolph Ziggler's. And unfortunately, it did also highlight the fact that Nia Jax acts and wrestles with all the emotional range of a rock bolted to the floor. But let's not focus on her, let's focus on the positives. Because going into Raw, Rousey showcased another fantastic, explosive combat style that was brilliant. Because it not only showed that she was a force to be reckoned with and put the locker room on notice once more, but also showcased the MMA moves that are transitioning over to the WWE side of things. It was brilliant. I enjoyed seeing her angry. I enjoyed seeing her explode, and it just shows that we do need to take her seriously as a singles competitor. All in all, bloody impressive and insane for somebody who is this relatively inexperienced within this field. Quite frankly, she's kind of embarrassing some of the other talent here, and that is no bad thing. 2 thumbs fresh. So this is for my fellow British wrestling fans. As of this week, we now have confirmation that the WWE is moving into the old Isle of Blighty, that's not how we salute, but the Isle of Blighty with NXT UK. And this should be a promising, exciting thing, right? Well, yes, but also maybe not. You see, while this is a fantastic opportunity for UK wrestlers to join the WWE and get TV exposure, there have been a fair few problems. I mean, if you look at the things of how they've dealt with the UK before, we have to remind ourselves that Pete Dunne still has the championship and nothing's really been done with that storyline. And he's pretty much the only one that's got any exposure. And the contracts that they've made people sign that bar them from working with other promotions while still paying them about maybe less than what you get when working at Audi full-time, it's not great so far. There's definitely room to improve, so fingers crossed that NXT will solve those problems. I am going to focus on the positives with this one because I hope that it will be a good injection into the scene, and I hope that the talent that does rise up through that does get to TV quicker and hopefully help them out in the long run. However, we do have to be a little bit cautious about this because there is the sort of vibe that they might just take the pedigree, leave the chum, it is the game after all, and he might just try and pick all the best people out and leave this entire area completely devoid of talent, or this weird vacuum that you have to go through the NXT in order to get there. I don't know. Concerned, but positively optimistic. And now welcome to the Philosophical Corner.
When is a push not a push?
Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for that. You've given me a lot to think about. Also, the answer is when it's to do with Roman Reigns. Yeah, so Roman Reigns had one of the most boring matches at Money in the Bank this past week. Yet, you know what? It's not all his fault. I mean, while his trajectory within the company is often critiqued as being pushed very hard up the bum by Vince's big silvery dicky knob, it's not his fault. It's not Roman's fault about this. I mean, he wrestles really safely. He's got moves that pop the kids. That sounded wrong. And he shifts more gear than Vince probably did back in the day in his own locker room. When it comes to ticking boxes, he's doing pretty well. And I'm sure he's a nice guy. The problem is, it's the insistency, the constant jabbing of the WWE for us to like him that we have a problem with. Not maybe his wrestling style or his in-ring content. That's the problem, though. And in this match against Jinder Mahal, we got 2.5 minutes, thereabouts, of chin locks. And that's kind of like the WWE's response to all of our criticisms at Backlash, where we booed and walked out. Now, 2.5 minutes might not sound like a lot, but in a 15-minute match, that's a fair old whack of just sitting there and effectively having Vince in the ring saying, "Look at him, look," as he does nothing. Just look at him, admire him as I do, like he is my bronzed Adonis. How can you boo this man? He's so beautiful. And while I will agree with him that he is a fantastic looking chap, I preferred him with the contacts, if I'm being honest, don't shove him down our throats so much. He's not going to listen to this, doesn't watch this show. If he did, all right, Vince, how's it going, you mad f***? Basically, it's not about who Roman Reigns is as a person, but it's about how he's presented that shakes the cages. All it does, every time this sort of thing happens, is just confirm that Vince is insane. He keeps trying the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. How are we ever going to miss Roman Reigns if he's always in the constant spotlight? Anyway. And finally, let's talk about Big Cass, who's out on his big ass. Yes, the news that shocked the world this week, that Big Cass was just let go without any sort of textbook, well done and, good luck with your future endeavors thing that they always do from the WWE. None of that. He was just kicked out. Now, the sort of rumors and reports have come out sort of as this has developed, and it didn't seem to be very fun at all. It seems that Big Cass had a bit of a drinking problem and a bit of an attitude when it came to taking directive orders, things which definitely do not gel well in the WWE at the moment. He rubbed up people the wrong way up and down the card, including Vince himself, which, not a smart move, that. So yeah, he's been let go. If it is an alcohol problem though, and I am speaking genuinely from this, I'm not going to make any jokes about it. I genuinely hope he gets the help he needs. And if the WWE, even if they have kicked him out of the door, I just hope that they put him in touch with the right people in order to help him. He never set the world on fire for me in the ring, but that does not mean that I want to see somebody get absolutely destroyed because of a vice like that. Not pleasant. Fingers crossed though, he does not join up with Enzo Amore for a rap track. No one needs to add more bitterness to that bonfire. So yeah, good luck, Cass. Genuinely. Actually, one more closing point here. Maybe we should look at the situation that Big Cass was in within the WWE before he was released. I mean, he'd seen quite a fair few close friends just disappear off the map because of their own choices and vices that have been going on. So he was probably left quite adrift. Then he was injured, then he came back and he was pushed incredibly hard despite being relatively quite green. I know going into a feud with Daniel Bryan is pretty much what every wrestler would want to do, but he definitely wasn't ready for that, in my opinion. And you've got to imagine that sort of frustration, the alienation, the constant touring on the road and breaking a toilet door on a tour bus and probably getting ribbed pretty hard for that, which I know is a big no-no, and that's definitely what he did. It's probably all going to gel into this thing of frustration and wanting to lash out. I do not agree with his actions at all. I definitely hope that he gets the help he needs, and I hope that somebody goes and has a look into the WWE to make sure this isn't happening to other people. Anyway, that's the end of that. And there we go, those are the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. Now to close out the show, the only way I know how, by reading my favourite comment or comments, in this case from last week's episode. The first one comes from Fautsu Narajo. That's 6. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It just says, I have a test in half an hour and I'm in my university library watching a dude whom uses a giraffe head. I wonder why I have bad grades. I don't want to actually affect your education, mate. Hope that you are studying well. For the rest of you out there, study. Don't watch this tripe. It's just a 30-year-old man. Yeah, I am 30, just standing around talking about wrestling. There are better things to do with your life. And watch the show's views plummet. And finally, I want to pay special attention to this guy. He has constantly been commenting on my videos since I started about 2 years ago. Even before I was an on-face personality and doing voiceovers and editing and stuff like that when I first started out, he still commented on this, and his name is Scrap-a-Rap-a-Dooby-Doo 6. Scatman Crothers, and he always says stuff like this: lift that shirt, skiddly diddly wop bop diddly doo. I love that guy. He's calls me the Southwest shirt lifter. Love that as well. It's just... yeah, so finally paying recognition to this guy. Anyway, gave me a laugh there. Brilliant. And there we go. All that's left for me to do is to say thank you so much to Phil Chambers and Michael Sidgwick for their continued work on this show, as well to you at home for watching. Thank you so much. You make my life that much more bearable each and every week. Now, before I go, if you want to check out more stuff that I've done, go over to the gaming channel here and you can see a video I did on 10 achievements that make you feel bad for earning them, or you can go over to That Film Theory and check out this video I did on Harry Potter and how he secretly might be an Obscurial. Let me know if that interests of you. If not, as always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!